Good morning, all of you. Today we'll discuss the numericals on the doppler effect, some maximum numerical doppler effect. Then we'll pick up some problems related to organ pipe and the beads phenomena. This is what I'm supposed to discuss. This was supposed we'll discuss in today's class. Fine. I think we had a good discussion on the Doppler effect, if you can remember. Let me type the content here. Numericals on Doppler effect. Interference. Organ pipes. Okay, I'm ready. We will proceed now. Yeah. Okay, read the question. Now something, he has given the wavefronts. So with the help of these wavefronts, we are supposed to analyze the condition. .3 meter. So I'll draw the diagram. Most of you are telling, sir, diagram not clear. Let me draw the diagram. It'll take less time. Circles should be okay. Some rough diagram. Okay, so this is the thing. Now we'll take this reference line. That is a x dash is telling. So what is this distance? This will be a constant. So how much is telling? 1.3 meter. What about this? This will be 0.9. and there is a source at point A, and there is an observer at point Q. Hope I am explaining everything. What is the content given? That one. The sound released at A is heard by the detector at frequency. Okay, we have wavefronts here. So from wavefronts, what do we get? How come? Okay, let's do one thing. What are these wavefronts? Like as the source propagates, what are these circles? These circles are wavefronts. If source is at rest, how the wavefronts will be? I think this is the primary question if which we ask ourselves. I think problem is solved. If source is at rest, this will be the wavefronts. What will be the distance between wavefronts? The distance between wavefronts will be fixed here if source is at rest. Am I right? Okay, fine. So the distance between, if the source is at rest, the distance between wavefronts will be at rest, will be equal. So you call this is x. This idea, for first you have to put it when this is when source is at rest. When source is moving is what we see the wavefronts like this. So definitely the source is rest or in motion in the diagram question given. It is in motion. Okay, now what to do for this? The question is like how to analyze this particular thing. Okay, let's go for the Doppler effect. There are two observers are there. So we'll keep one observer here on the left and other on the right. So let me proceed like this. So this is the source, this observer 2, this observer 1. And let's put that source, let it propagate, and it will generate a frequency, sound signal of frequency f naught. That f naught is this one given. What is f naught? F naught is unnecessary as given one more time period. Again, reciprocal of time period should be the frequency only. So you need not to bother that data may not be this is useful. Both are same. Reciprocal of time period is what? The frequency, no? Now, what will be the apparent frequencies heard by the detector 192? Let's discuss this one. Let me come to the question afterwards. Let's have first a basic idea from here. Okay, what is apparent frequency heard by this person? F1 is equal to F1, the source moving away and the observer is at rest. So where are that observers? As I am going to put that observer over here. I am assuming it. I am assuming it. Okay, what is F1? Doppler effect formula. V F naught by V minus Vs. Can you discuss the wavelength? So here, what is the condition that arises? The wave emitted by this, by the time it arrives here, will become F1. Can you remember? The wave emitted here, by the time it reaches, will become F2. Okay, what is the wavelength? What is the wavelength? Lambda 1 is equal to V relative by F1. What is V relative? Velocity of wave with respect to observer. It is equal to V only. This is the wavelength of waves received by observer 1. Similarly, what is the wavelength of waves received by observer 2? F2 is equal to V F naught by, shall we make it plus? I think it should be positive. Okay, yeah, fine. And the source is approaching observer in the second case. Second case, source is approaching the observer. V relative is what like will be V Okay, I agree this, no problem. Tell me like where the wavelength is more. For which observer the wavelength of the waves will be more? For the first observer. For the first observer, what will happen? The wavelength of the waves received by it, what will happen will be more. For the second observer, the wavelength of waves received by it will be less. If source is at rest, the both observers are standing. Then in that case, what happen? Both observers say that we are receiving the waves of same wavelength. Getting the idea, the concept? Just I wanted to test you with the wavefront concept here. Able to understand? This will be okay. No, definitely. Shall we say no? What is the situation now? Something. Do we know wavelength? Yes, the lambda one is what 1.3 meter. Do we know speed of the sound? It is given. Not given. Do we know speed of source? Not there. F naught is given. So what all available? So from this conclusion, what I can write? Lambda one is equal to 1.3 meter. Lambda two is equal to 0.9 meter. And I know F naught. What are unknown things? V and Vs are unknown. Solving these two equations will get the required answer. I'll let me go for solving. So therefore this will be 1.3 speed of sound. Okay, V plus Vs both are unknown. F naught is how much? F naught is 300. Let me push this to the corner. Then similarly, this will become 300. 13 into 3, 39. 390 equal to V plus Vs. Similarly, looking at this, lambda 2 is 0.9. Solving these two equations will get V and Vs. Okay, after this, he didn't ask these things, no? What he has asked, what is the frequency of the waves received by the observer at Q? There's also one observer is there at Q. At what apparent frequency is going to receive the waves? The waves that are generated by source. So what is the state of source? Source at rest or in motion? It is in motion, no? With this discussion, I'm able to tell it. Okay, let's write the apparent frequency formula. F dash is equal to observer at rest. Then F dash should be equal to F into V by V minus Vs cos theta. Theta given 60 degrees. The Vs value is what we are going to get from here. The V value also we are going to get from here. Then we'll get apparent frequency. Okay, are you able to get this? The some very good numerical, huh? This is something is asking students to imagine the wavefront concept. So your answer then F by 110 is equal to, the answer will be 3. Check later on. I'll go to the next concept. Okay, this idea, okay, fine. The wavelength, what happened? The wavefronts, what happened? The distance between wavefronts is what wavelength, no? I think already we have discussed yesterday's class, so this should be the lambda 1. This should be the lambda 2. Okay, we'll take the next one. I'll read it. I didn't. Oh no. Okay, let me read for you. A source S and a detector O are initially at a distance of x equal to 1 kilometer. Both start moving towards each other with same acceleration, a equal 10 meter per second square. What is F equal to F naught? I don't know. What is the meaning of this? This is what F naught, ma? The 300 is. No, the detector heard by a detector. Detector what pen will hear at a frequency. Okay, okay. Symbols, no symbols. I'll change it. I'll change it. F naught. So is that okay now?
Yes, sir.
Then okay. The symbols little bit. F equal to F naught V by V minus Vs cos theta. F by 110 is what is asking. Okay, all the symbols are correct, no? F naught, F naught. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Thanks. No. A source S and detector O are initially at a distance of 1 kilometer. Both start moving towards each other with same acceleration, A equal 10 meter per second square. Frequency of source is 2000 Hz. Find the frequency observed by detector at time t equal to 4 seconds. Speed of sound in air is 300 meter per second. So initially, there's a distance. So let me give a better diagram here. So this is the source. This is a detector. So initially what happened? They are separated by 1 kilometer at t equal to 0. Both will start accelerating. I'll give 2 minutes time. Try to analyze. So now observe by detector time t equal to 4 seconds. So somewhere the detector will be here. At t equal to 4 seconds, the detector will be here. And let this be the source. Where is the source? Let it be. So it is moving with a velocity, say Vs1. The detector will be moving with a velocity, say VO. This is at t equal to 4 seconds. At t equal to 4 seconds, the wave will arrive here. When it should have been generated? So, somewhere at some instant of time. The source, when somewhere here, it would have been generated. And the detector will be somewhere here. Okay, now the wave will be generated. And the wave will propagate. And it will be detected at t equal to 4 seconds. See, if I hear the wave, if I hear the sound wave at 4 seconds means what does it mean? Prior to 4 seconds should have been generated. See, at 6 o'clock, if I say hello, then when I would have started speaking just before 6 o'clock, if suppose we are at a distance of 5 kilometers, the wave will propagate some time, need some time to propagate, no? Suppose you are at 5 kilometer distance. I say hello. Immediately, are you going to hear speed of the sound? Let's say they get 400 meter per second. So you are at distance of 5 kilometers, or say 500 meter per second speed of sound. So minimum time, how much needed? 10 seconds. If you are going to hear, suppose at 6 o'clock, if I say hello, okay, this one, and the speed of sound is how much? 500 meter per second. What is the distance? x equal to 5 kilometers. Tell me like when I would have said hello at 6 o'clock, I said hello. When you are going to hear it? Exactly after 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, so 600. I think this will be your timings, no? Will be like this. Now you say at 10, at 6:10, at 6 o'clock, 10 seconds. If you have heard hello, then when I would have said prior to that, the same thing. At 4 seconds, if I hear the sound means when it should be generated. Prior to that. So what is this distance? Distance moved by the source. There's a distance moved by the detector. Anybody can you say what is this distance? What is this distance? Distance by whom? By the wave. Distance propagated by the wave. No, because the signal is generated, it has to propagate distance, some distance to reach the detector. That's what this happens here. Okay, what is our first of all, let's come to the Doppler effect. Let's get into Doppler. What is the Doppler effect formula? Then we'll come to know what is unknown thing to be determined. What is the Doppler effect formula? Doppler effect formula says that V, detector is moving towards observer, V plus VO. F dash it is, V plus VO, F, V minus Vs. What are VO and Vs? Speed of observer when sound is heard. What is Vs? Speed of source when sound is generated. No, that is what Doppler effect. In Doppler effect, what are VO, Vs? Vs is the speed of sound when signal is generated. VO is the speed of the detector when signal is detected. Do we know these things? As we know VO. What is VO? 80. So I'll write 80 dash, or this is A into 4. So we know acceleration 10. So 10 into 4, 40 meter per second. What is the only unknown thing? The Vs is unknown. What is Vs? Vs should be equal to A into T. So this is 10T. The T is unknown thing. How to find out that T? Anybody? Yeah, looking at the diagram. Anybody? Can you answer? Yeah, diagram. No, look at the diagram and analyze how to find out the time T. I have this 1 kilometer. So what is this 1 kilometer? You can write it as xs plus xw plus xd. That's all. Now, what is xs? So let's do one thing. That 1 kilometer. That's why this diagram is very important. XO. This is XO, no detector. Yeah. Now, what is one? This is 1000. This is A T square by 2. What is XW? Distance propagated by, by the wave. Distance propagated by the wave. What is the speed of the sound? V into, for what time the wave will propagate? 4 minus T. What about X naught? This will be A into 4 square by 2. What is the only unknown thing? The T is unknown thing. Quadratic equation. Solving this will get expression for T. That value of T I'm going to substitute here. That then I'll get Vs, then I'll get apparent frequency. Distance, propagation distance of the sound wave. I think this is the concept. So I think drawing diagrams, let's leave it okay, very good, no? Like this, what you can put it like, you can go to kinematics. A source is vertically projected, detector is dropped, then acceleration due to gravity will come. That this acceleration is what I brought it, no? Then he may ask you some similar question of like this. Detector is projected vertically up and the source is dropped vertically down from rest. Detector should be projected. Then detector is going to describe the retarding motion. Source what happened will be describing the excited motion. Then the same thing, the Doppler effect can be asked there also in projectile motion. And I'll take the next one here. Okay, read the question. Uh, a train a train crosses a station P with speed 20 meter per second and whistles a short pulse of natural frequency f naught 1570 Hz at t equal to 0. Another train B is approaching towards the same station with retardation 8 meter per second square along a parallel track. These are the tracks. The two tracks are 99 meter apart. When train A whistles at station P, train B is 140 meter away from the line PD and listen the pulse at t equal to 0.5 seconds. If the velocity of sound in air is 330 meter per second, calculate the frequency of the pulse heard by the driver of train B. Find the initial velocity of train B. And is asking to get the cos theta also. I'll put the total diagram. These are the tracks. These are the two tracks. The train A is here. And the train B is here. Just some picture information, so that will be easy for you to imagine. That's why I brought like this. Now, what is this? This should have some initial velocity train B because it will undergo retardation. And train A crosses. This will cross with a speed how much? UA 20 meter per second. We'll write all the things, the data. Okay, this distance is what? 140 meter. This is at t equal to 0. This is at t equal to 0. Now a pulse will be generated. Please try to understand. It's very easy, just based on kinematics, nothing. No need to get scared, just based on kinematics. This is theta, let me take it. There's a point A, there's a station P. This is the distance D, and this was at B and at C. So when the train arrives at B, it is going to hear that pulse. So it is undergoing retardation. So what do you expect the train definitely when it arrives here? What is the state of train A? train B, it was undergoing retardation, no? So it will have some velocity, say VB, when it is hearing that pulse. And this happens at what time? 0.5. Where the train A will be somewhere here, we are not bothered its position. It crosses, I don't know what is the velocity of that, everything, no information is available. This at t equal to 0. Here the pulse is generated, the pulse will be detected. The pulse will arrive here. This distance, what we know is 99 meter. Straight away, what is the Doppler effect formula? What is the speed of the train A when it generated pulse? Pulse is generated here. At P, pulse generated. At C, pulse is detected. What is the Doppler effect formula? First, we'll write Doppler effect formula. We'll come to know what to do. F dash is equal to speed of the wave, speed of the sound wave. It is V. Then source is approaching the observer, no, along that one. So detector is approaching it. So this will be V plus VB cos theta, VB sin theta, no, cos theta only. This will be cos theta, no, this angle will be cos theta. I'll put it, yeah, VB cos theta, F divided by V, and the component of velocity of this is source. So in simplest thing, this is source and this is detector. So this will be V minus UA cos theta. Tell me, like, what all we know? We know UA, we know speed of the sound, we know F, we don't know theta and VB. Am I right? What is VB? Velocity of the train B at the instant when signal is detected. Got the idea? So VB and theta are known. Let's see how we can find out. We know retardation. We know retardation. So what is this? Let's get into the discussion. So this distance, how much it will be? Say some x. What is x is equal to? See, by the time train B moves from B to C, what will happen to pulse? Pulse will move from P to C. Are you able to understand? So what is this? This is a path of the pulse or propagation distance. So what is PC? PC is a propagation distance. Shall we use word? Propagation distance. By the time pulse moves from P to C, the train will move from B to C. Got the idea? So what is X? I should write now. What is X is equal to? X should be equal to UB time taken 0.5 or T, let me write T minus AB or A T square by 2. There's a distance moved by the train B. In that interval of time, this particular wave will cover a distance PC. So what is that distance PC? I should write here. Speed of the wave into this time. Do we know speed of the wave? 330. Okay, I agree this. Then do we know time? Time is how much? 1 by 2 or 0.5. This will be how much? Anybody? 330. 175. Okay, somehow I got the distance PC. If you know distance PC and you know PD, can you bring the sine theta value? Sine theta is equal to PD by PC. 99 by 175. If you know sine theta, can you bring cos theta? Okay, I'll get the cos theta. 165. This is still. I want the velocity of train B. How to calculate velocity of train B? For that, what is needed? VB equal to we don't know that initial velocity of train B also. We know A and T. We don't know X and T. After getting this cos theta, or after getting this cos theta, can we get distance CD? So what is the distance CD? 140 minus C, no? So cos theta, what you can write it as? CD by PC. So what is distance CD is equal to? PC cos theta. What is the distance PC? Oh, so sorry, what is the PC? We know it. PC 165. What is the distance CD? 140 minus 6. So now I'll substitute all the things. 140 minus, what is X is equal to? UBT minus ABT square equal to 165 cos theta. We know value of cos theta. We know value of cos theta. If you know cos theta, then what happen? We'll get the X. That I think, okay, then after getting X, you know T, you'll get UB. You can work out in either way. Huh? So we know cos theta from here. We know sin theta, will get cos theta. After getting cos, substitute here. You know UB and you know T and AB. So this is A, no? I'll substitute all. T is how much? 1 by 2, no? So this will be UB by 2. A is how much? Retardation 8. 8 by 2, 1 by 2 whole square. Plus it will be 165 cos theta. Substitute the value of cos theta from here, you'll get that initial velocity. After getting this initial velocity, what is needed? We needed VB. How to bring VB? VB is equal to UB minus A into T. A is how much? 8. This is 1 by 2. So UB minus 4. I'll get the value of VB. That I'm going to substitute. I'll get the apparent frequency. Okay, fine. Very good problem. Just kinematics is what is troubling you. Doppler effect is only small idea. Finish over here. You can expect questions of these kind in the Doppler effect. Cos theta will be 0.8. Check it. Cos theta will be 0.8. I have only this much of information. Calculator, I just checked it. Okay, work out this one. Do calculation later on. Shall I conclude? I'll go for next question. Let me have water. some circular motion idea is what we are trying to bring. Let me finish off the content here only. And now you see that what is telling the detector is stationary at 2 hours. Here's the detector. Huh? This is a detector. So we'll put it some red color. This is a detector. And I have to draw the diagram. Two cases are there. Now, where is the detector? Detector is here. This is a detector. Then what about source? Source is moving in a circular path, in a circle with a constant speed. Then, so what is the question? Something is asking. This is the first diagram. Let me take it. So the source, let it move in a clockwise sense. Clockwise sense. So it will be here. So when the source is here, so how the velocity of the source should be tangential, and detector is at rest. It will generate a wave. And by the time it arrives here, it will become f dash. Okay, this is some basic condition. No. Similarly, what happened when source is receding away? I should draw a tangent to the circle, no? Yes. No. How the source is here, and it will have velocity. So in this case, it will generate a wave. Now also it will generate a wave. So when it generates a wave, that wave will be received by the detector. F2, let me write this is F1. So this is R, this distance is 2R. Himself in the given theta. So definitely what happened, this should be 30 degrees, 60 degrees. This will be 30 degrees. Find the frequency emitted by the source. The frequency emitted by the source is Fs. He's asking what are the coordinates of the source when the detector records the maximum and minimum frequencies. And what are that maximum minimum frequencies? So let me put question. Find the coordinates of source when the detector detects maximum and minimum frequency. And that values also and corresponding frequencies. Okay, no, so definitely I think it will be here only. When the source? So when the source is at a point on a circular path where the line joining the source and detector becomes a tangent to the circle. Here, how the velocity of source will be directed along line joining source and detector. What about here? When it is here, how they are perpendicular, no? Sir, what about here? Yes, it will have some velocity. Then this will be the source line joining the source and detector. Component of velocity will come here. So when it will be maximum minimum, when the source is at a point on a tangent. So what is this? This will be a tangent. Okay, now we'll write the Doppler effect formula. So what is the Doppler effect formula? F1 is equal to F into V by V minus Vs. Now why V minus Vs? Source is approaching the detector. Here, what about this? F2 equal to Fe by V plus Vs. So which will be maximum? This will be maximum. This will be minimum. Sir, what about if the source is here? If the source is here, check it. Only when this is the maximum possible thing. This is a minimum possible thing. So we know speed of the sound, we know frequency. The speed of the source is given. How to get these coordinates? So this what origin I'm defining. How to get coordinates? I think the coordinates can be obtained from here. What are the coordinates? This will be r cos 60. This will be r sine 30, r sine 60. So what are the coordinates of this? Point P1, P2. So coordinates of point P1, what you can write? R cos 60. Okay, I agree this. So something, source will be moving in a circular path, detector will be placed at a certain point, and something is related to that, what the question is being asked. So nothing will happen to the source will continuously move. Sir, why you directly took here? Why can't it be here? So somewhere here you check it now. The velocity will be tangential and the line joining will be somewhere here. So that the angles will come. So if any angle here come, Vs cos theta or something, no? So then this cannot be maxima. Okay, do calculation. Let me take the next question. Just let me write F or F not, I'll write it. Okay, read it carefully. So something I should allow students to really to think. A source emitting a sound of frequency F naught is placed at a large distance from the observer. This observer, and what is the state of observer at rest? Next, what will happen? The source will accelerate from rest. It will accelerate from rest. This is what t equal to 0. Find the frequency heard by the observer corresponding to wave emitted just after the source starts. This is something. just after the starts. So what is actually meaning of this? So something we have to understand. See, actually, whatever the state of the source, it will accelerate from rest. Accelerates from rest here. So this source, what happened minimum, it has to generate a one wave, no? That particular source which is there, it has to generate a wave. Then the wave generated by it, what happened will be received by detector. To generate a wave, it need time. What is the time? So we know frequency is f naught. So what is the time period? T. What is that capital T? Time taken by the source to generate one wave. I agree this, there's a time period, no? In that interval of time, what will happen to source? So the source will accelerate. By the time one wave is generated, what happen? It will acquire some speed. So by the time a wave is generated, for your understanding purpose, I'm showing a little bit big. So this will take some time here, no? So the source what happened? By the time wave is generated, it will be here at this point. What is the time this? T. And what's happening to the speed of the source will be increasing in this interval of time. It was at rest. By the time a wave is generated, so what is this? The source open will be moving and will be generating. No, it's not that it will first generate and will move. It starts accelerating from rest and also starts generating. So by the time it generates one wave, it has covered some distance. It has covered some distance. Will I agree? This one, and it has acquired some speed. So now what will happen? What is the time taken for the source to generate one wave? It is what this capture. In that interval of time, it is acquired speed. Now the wave is generated. This wave will propagate at a frequency and will be earth. So there's a relative motion between source and detector. It will be generated frequency f. Now the same wave will be heard at some other frequency. Able to analyze this condition, because some time is needed for the wave to be generated. In that interval of time, the source will acquire certain speed. So that is what the droplet formula we have to substitute here. So what is this Vs? Vs should be the average speed you have to take it. What is the average speed? 0 plus 80 by 2. Average speed of source in interval of time t. Okay, got this one. So now okay, we'll write the Doppler effect formula. So what is f dash? F dash is equal to V f naught. Sorry, f naught. No, it is V f naught by V minus Vs. What is Vs? At by 2. Okay, this further Vf naught V minus. This will be A by 2. What is T? T will be 1 by f naught. Now this 2 also should be there. So this is the apparent frequency heard by the detector, corresponding to the wave generated just after the source starts. That is what. See, just after, I think you have to read this question. Corresponding to the wave emitted just after the corresponding to the wave, not after some time. So the detector will hear after some time only, but corresponding to which wave, the wave which is generated in one interval of time, in one time period, corresponding to that wave is asking the Doppler effect. The wave will take some time to propagate. We are. I think that is not the discussion here. The discussion is like, what is the speed of the source when it has generated a wave? Because to generate one wave, it needs some time. No, what is the time? Time period. Time taken by the source to generate a wave, or it is nothing but what? Time period. Corresponding to the first wave, the Doppler effect is being asked. Okay, we have other set of the numericals. So suppose say like this is the, we'll take some general questions related to Doppler effect. Now this is a block. This is a source. It is given a velocity v naught, or say like a maximum speed is at equilibrium. Spring is relaxed here. And there is a detector and the person is standing at this particular point. Let the person be is at rest. This is some loudspeaker connected to spring is going to vibrate. Then what are the maximum and minimum frequencies of the vibration? So what is that Vm? Vm is the speed given, or you can say it is compressed and released. Let me do one thing. I'll compress this and released here. It is compressed, the block is the source is compressed by distance A and released. Anything, what is the maximum minimum frequencies heard by the person? So when the source arrives at the main position, it will have velocity Vm like this. It will be moving and it will be generating a wave. Similarly, when the source, what will happen? It will come like this. Then when the same source arrives at the main position, so what is Vs equal to? Vs velocity of source at mean position should be equal to A omega. What is omega further? Mass of this Bm is equal to K by M. Then what is the Doppler effect? Now what will happen? It will generate a wave. Let me bring a person. What is the maximum minimum frequencies heard by the person? Okay, this first case, it will generate a wave. Here it will generate a wave of frequency f naught. Is going to here at frequency f2. F naught here going to be f1. So what is f1 is equal to? F1 should be equal to f naught v by v minus vs. What is f2 equal to? F naught v by v plus vs. What is vs equal to? We have formula. So many questions will be there for you like this. Simple with SHM I brought this one. What is the frequency heard by the person? When source is at extreme point, anything will happen. There won't be relative motion between the person and the source, no detector, between the source and the detector. Then what happen? No Doppler effect. Then it's going to hear actual frequency f naught. When the block is at, when the source is at mean position, then it's having a velocity towards person and away from it. Then these are the maximum minimum frequency. When source is here at extreme point, then it will be at rest. Then it generate a wave. No relative motion between the person and the source. So what do we get it here? No Doppler effect. This is the source. source of sound executes SHM. Okay, so these are the things. So let me introduce to a few more. Now, if you have A, and there is a person of mass M, there's a small point source, or say loudspeaker, you can put it. There's a trolley of mass M2. The person is initially, the system is at rest. The person, when he jumps with a velocity u(r) relative to trolley, what are the apparent frequencies heard by him? The loudspeaker will be continuously playing. So when he jumps with a velocity u(r), what will be the apparent frequency heard by the person? Find the apparent frequency heard by the person when he jumps with a velocity u(r) relative to trolley. Where do you brought this? Where it was? Conservation of linear momentum. So the moment when the person makes a jump, what will happen to the trolley? Trolley will recoil. Oh, if you can recollect. So what is the state of trolley? Trolley will recoil with a speed v2. What about the person? The person has made a jump. I think we had some diagrams like this, no? You will jump with a speed u(r). So velocity of person will be v1, and the trolley will recoil back. And where the loudspeaker will be fixed to the trolley. Okay, tell me how to get that apparent frequency. Hope you are able to understand the situation here. What is the apparent frequency is asking? Why that apparent frequency will come? Because the sound signal will be generated at frequency f and will be heard at frequency f dash. For that, let's get conservation of linear momentum. Initial momentum is equal to final momentum. Final momentum m2 v2 minus m1 v1. According to the relative velocity, anything directed towards right, I'll take it positive. So minus ur is equal to minus of v1 plus v2. What is the velocity of this? v1 equal to ur minus v2. What is this velocity of the person with respect to ground? That I'll substitute here. 0 equal to m2 v2, v1 ur minus v2. So this will become v2 equal to m1 ur by m1 plus m2. I think you know long back such things. What is the velocity of the person will be m2 ur by m1 plus m2. Now what is v2? Velocity of trolley. What is v1? Velocity of person. Can we apply now the Doppler effect formula? Yes. Now the person will become detected. No, is there any relative motion between the loudspeaker fixed to the trolley and the person? Yes, there's a relative motion. Try to see that as there's relative motion. So now how to write the Doppler effect formula? F dash is equal to F into person moving away from source V minus V1. Source moving away from the observer V plus V2. What is V? Speed of the sound. What is F? Actual frequency. Okay, getting this one. So what are V1, V2? I'll substitute, I'll solve it, I'll get the Doppler effect. So now this Doppler effect is something where you can introduce wherever you want. It's not something, some few set of numericals. Anywhere in the physics can be introduced, provided if source and observer are in motion. This is apparent frequency heard by person. Okay, these are the some types of numericals is what you should put effort, not only on the pure, the Doppler effect one, application of Doppler effect. Doppler effect circular motion, Doppler effect projectile motion, Doppler effect in say like a conservation of unit term, Doppler effect SHM. Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay, we'll take some the interference, some beats one. I'll discuss one problem which is very important. Then I'll go for the other conditions. If there are two sources, three sources are there. We discussed this beats for only one source. Now, if there are three sources are there, F2 is equal to 401 hours. If three sources of frequency 400, 401, 402, if they vibrate together simultaneously, find the number of beats. Three sources of frequencies F1, F2, and F3 vibrate simultaneously. Find the number of, or find beat frequency. Find the we did only for one source. Can you remember? Here I just brought for three sources here. Three sources of sound. They are kept at a certain point. They'll undergo superposition. We have to find out the beat frequency. Okay, first we'll do one thing. Y is equal to superposition. Y1 plus Y2 plus Y3. What is Y1? A into sine 2 pi F1t. Let at x equals 0 undergo superposition. Omega 1 is what you can write 2 pi F1t. Omega 2 is what you can write 2 pi F2t. Omega 3 is what 2 pi F3t. Let me further put it. A sine, this will be 2 pi 401 into t. A sine 2 pi 400, sorry, it is 400 401 t. This will be A sine. It's a pure mathematics. After this, the physics is over. Superposition of all three waves will occur. Three waves are having different frequency. We have to calculate number of bits. Earlier we did for only two waves. Am I right? The beats phenomena. I just brought now three waves. It's about mathematics now. So after this is the mathematics. After this is the mathematics. Nothing to do with physics. How to calculate the beats? What we should do? We should plot intensity versus time graph. What is the time taken for the intensity variation to complete one cycle is a beat period reciprocal of that beat frequency. Or we should plot amplitude versus time graph. The distance between a positive peak to negative peak is what beat period reciprocal of the beat frequency. Or time interval between two successive maxima, or time interval between two successive minima. There's a beat period. Okay, these are all methods are there. Let's explore the mathematics. Okay, how to simplify this? You are very good in maths. How to simplify this? You can take 3, 4, 5, 6 sources. It's all about the trigonometry, no? I'll take superposition of these two. Huh? Let me take the superposition of these two first. Okay, fine. Let me do superposition of this. So what do will end up like this? This will be. I'll write at one place. Huh? It'll be easier. 2 pi 401 t plus a sine 400. It is 400 a sine 2 pi 401. First, we'll take superposition of these two. Also, first we'll sine c plus sine d formula. We'll apply it. Okay, now look at the this one. So this will become y is equal to 2a sine 2 pi 401 t cos of 2 pi t plus a sine. Check once mathematics. The simplification of these two. Sin c plus sin d formula is what I ended up this one. Cos of 402 minus 400 by 2. So is it okay? You will get 1. Then 400 plus 402 by 2 will be 401. Sin cos okay. If you say yes, I'll proceed it. I'll put red color, the flower bracket. At least you'll understand, okay, what we are doing it. Is it okay? Simple question. Anybody? Just confirm. Then I'll proceed. Sin c plus sin d formula. If you say yes, then I'll proceed. Okay, fine, ma. Yeah. No, what to do here now? Because see, we wanted expression for the beats phenomenon. So let me take that sine 2 pi 401 t common. So the next part will be y is equal to. If I take sine, this will be, I'll be left over with a into 1 plus 2 cos 2 pi t sine of 2 pi. No, which is a signal and which is an amplitude term. What is the frequency of all this 400, 401, 402? The resultant wave should have frequency somewhere near to them. Yes, that is what 401. And what about this quantity? It is having frequency. How much it is 1? So can this be a signal frequency? No, this will be a signal frequency. Sir, how to identify? Both are function of time. Here also some frequency term is there. Here also frequency term is there. I mean, what is the frequency here? 1. What about here? 401. So which is a signal? Which is the amplitude? This is what the doubt will arise. So here, this should be the when these three waves undergo superposition, we'll get a resultant wave. What should be the frequency of resultant wave? The resultant wave, the frequency of resultant wave should be somewhere around these frequencies only. So which one is nearer? 401 is nearer to them, these frequencies, or 1 Hz. 401 is nearer to this. So therefore, this should be the signal frequency. This should be the amplitude term. I will separate it. I'll write it like this. I'll shade it. This is the amplitude term. This is the frequency term. So this quantity is what? Amplitude. This is the frequency of resultant wave. So therefore, this equation now will take form a of t sine 2 pi ft. I think this is what the beats phenomena. The amplitude will be a function of time. So in place of f, what we have? 401. Is it okay? No. So a of t, what shall I write? That a of t is what? That's a red color. I'm writing it. Let's get into, once we are here, rest all mathematics. A of t is equal to a into 1 plus 2 cos 2 pi t. If the amplitude varies as a function of time, what will be the intensity? Intensity will be square of amplitude. I'll square this term. A square 1 plus 2 cos. Okay, now what is the, how to calculate the beat frequency? I should search the instance of time at which the intensity will be maximum. For I of t to be maximum, tell me like when it will be maximum, when this quantity cos 2 pi t is equal to 1, should be equal to plus 1. For cos 2 pi t to be plus 1, so what should be the 2 pi t? Should be equal to 2n pi. So therefore, what is t is equal to n? So what are the values of n? N will start with a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore, t equal to 0, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 second, and so on. What are these? What are these instants of time at which intensity is maxima? Now, shall we take the difference of this? There's at 1 instant, at 0 seconds, intensity is maximum. Again, when intensity is maximum, at 1 second. Again, when the time interval between two successive maximas here, what do we get? Beat period. Reciprocal of beat period, beat frequency. I think problem solved, no? The mathematics, in exams, you can end up here. No need to draw intensity versus time graph. So what is a beat period? How you write beat period? Beat period is equal to time interval between two successive maximas. Okay, what is it? This is a beat period. Now, what is equal to? I think it is a 1 second. And what is the beat frequency? F beat equal to 1 by beat period. So what is the number of beats that is at one intensity cycle will get over in 1 second. So what do you mean by beat frequency Werners? In 1 second, one intensity variation will complete one cycle. So I'm going to hear 1 beat per second. Okay, let's do some mathematics. So what is the, for minima we'll check it because already we have a lot of content is there. No, let's explore further. For intensity to be minima, I think I'll go for next page. For I of t to be minimum, so then cos 2 pi t should be equal to 1. If it is equal to minus 1, then it will become 0. Cos 2 pi t to be minus 1, any general? I have to plot graph, no? Okay, let me do it here. I think you are able to see this equation. Yeah. Cos 2 pi t should be equal to minus 1. For cos 2 pi t to be equal to minus 1, so 2 pi t should be equal to 2n pi plus 2 pi by 3. Am I right? Check it once. So this should become n plus 1 by 3. Is it minus 1 by 2? Sorry. Check once, check once. Is it n minus 1 by 3 or n plus 1 by 3? Trigonometry, take help of your trigonometry conditions. What are n? N will start from 1, 2, 3, and so on. So now I got the instance of time. This I'll write it as, it will start with n equal to 0 also will come here, no? Yeah. 1 by 3 seconds, 2 by 3 seconds. Four by 3, sorry, it should be 4 by 3. 7 by 3. Check once. What are this? The instance of time at which intensity is minimum. Instance of time at which intensity is minimum. Again, what you can do? Time interval between two successive minimas is the beat period. Again, you get same thing. Am I right? So these are the methods. I'm just showing the method. Time interval between two successive minimas is what? So what is the time interval? The beat period. 4 by 3 minus 1 by 3. How much you're getting? 1 second. What is the beat frequency? Okay, there are various methods, no? Okay, let's plot the intensity versus time graph. I'm interested that graph. Okay, let me show that graph. You should have done all this, but we have some problem. So students, what happen, are so dependent on teacher. Actually, if I'm a very good physics teacher, I should leave this. Okay, plot the graph. Think on it. But nowadays, what happens, students have no patience to instantaneous knowledge they want. Okay, what is the intensity? 2a square. 2 like a 2a square, 4a square, 6a square, 8a square. These are the intervals of time. Intervals of time will take it 1 by 16. 1 by 8, 3 by 1 by 16, 2 by 16, 3 by 16 will come, no? This will be 3 by 16. 4 by 16 will be 1 by 4. 6 by 16, 3 by 8. Is it correct? 1 by 16, 1 by 8, 5, 6. So this will be 7 by 16. This is 8 by 16. This will be 1 by 2. If I take it 1 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 4, 3 by 8, 4 by 8, 5 by 6 by 8, 7 by 8, 1. I think let me, this will be more very lengthier. Let me go for 1 by 8 only. 1 by 8, 2 by 8, 1 by 4, 3 by 8, 1 by 2, 5 by 8, 6 by 8, 3 by 4, 7 by 8. This will be 1. 9 by 8. After 9 by 8, what we get? 10 by 8, 5 by 4, 11 by 8, 12 by 8 will be 3 by 2. Okay, no. Okay, we'll get to this one. So now what you should do in this equation, substitute the tensions of time. Put t equal to 1 by 8, all that one. Get the amplitude. Then you'll get a dots. Those smooth curves, when you draw it, no, you'll get the required thing. So let me show this one. So check later on. No? 3 by 8, it will be again 1 will be maxima. We have some points here. Okay, this will be the experimental curve. Two dots, so this will be 1 by 2. It will be okay. The curve will be like this. It should be sinusoidal, no? No, not straight line. It's a totally a curve. This will be the one intensity cycle. I'll do one thing. I'll give a smaller intervals so that you can notice it very clearly. The experimental curve, what we are supposed to learn, no? So will be of it will touch some lower value. Okay, this will be the experimental curve. Like this. So this will be the, it's a purely mass based. A student must have better picture. So this is the maximum intensity what we have 8a square. This is what 1 second, no? 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. What is one cycle? This is the one cycle. This everything is one cycle. I'm trying to show at least one cycle. What do you mean by one cycle, sir? According to graph, this should be the one cycle. Will I agree? So this part of graph is what repeating, no? So definitely what is a beat period? So this will be the beat period. Okay, agreed now? So reciprocal of beat period is what? Beat frequency. What is the beat frequency now? 1 hertz. What is the maximum beats we can hear? At the most maximum 8 or 10. So I can clearly notice this particular variation of intensity. So tell me, like in exam, will you plot this intensity of time graph? It will kill your time. You should end up here only, yeah, the mathematics. Are you able to understand? You should end up taking help of this one only. This for learning concept is what I brought it. You should not take this is the because what is one period is what is the periodicity? This is the periodicity. The intensity at now at a given point due to three sources will vary like this. Okay, let me take the next sum. You can do for any number, four sources also if you want to try it. Hmm? Four sources also if you want to try it. Okay, let's take the now some interference. Let's discuss few problems on interference. There are 2 point sources are there. They're separated by a distance, say like a d. Let r be the radius of the circle. So let me take this particular point where OP is equal to r. Let lambda be these two are coherent sources. S1, S2 are coherent. And let lambda be the wavelength of waves. Okay, if I move in a circle, what will happen to number of maximas, minimas, which I'm going to measure here? How many maximas, minimas I'm going to measure here? If I go around in a circle, and the detector, what pen will move in a circle, find the position, find the number of maximas, minimas, and their position. So what is that point P? Point P is a detector, that one. Also, we'll make a question. Find the number of maximas and their position on a circle of radius r. So I kept a two coherent sources separated by distance 2d symmetrically above the origin, and I'm going to move in a circular path around them in a circle of radius capital R. Then how many maximas and what about their positions I'm going to notice here. So first what will happen, the wave generated by this source will reach point P and the wave generated by this source will reach point P. The two waves, is there any path difference between the waves? Yes, there's a path difference. Are you noticing? There's a path difference, no? So both the things will generate a wave. This will send a wave. No, is there any path difference of the waves when they arrive at point P? Yes, definitely. So what is that path difference? So the path difference is what we notice is equal to this one. Let me take this is theta. And now what is the condition? I'll put r very much greater than d. If r is very much greater than d, any conditions will arise here. How the diagram will appear like this. I'm trying to explain geometrically so that it will be easy for you. These are the two sources, S1 and S2, and there's a point P. No, look at this one now. So what is the angle made by? So if I say that this R is very much greater than D, the separation between the sources, then what is the angle made by these two with the horizontal line, with the reference horizontal line? Should be equal. And that is what the angle made by the midpoint also. All three should subtend same angle, no? Because the reason for that, what is the reason for that? Because R is very much greater than D, that one. So you will get a situation of like this. The angle made by the line joining S1P, OP and S2P with horizontal, the angle subtended by the line joining S1P, S2P and OP with horizontal will be same. That is what the theta. So this theta, which is here, no, I can also write it here. I think this is going to, this condition is very important. Because here so this theta, this will be different. If r very much greater than d, means like you take this is 10 meter, this you put 1 centimeter, definitely open with protractor you measure this thetas, no, they're going to be same. Okay, some are asking question, the diagrams are not clear. I'll put it again. Huh? You can see this. So will agree this, the condition. So this is 2d and this is almost equal to r, no? So when r very much greater than d, then all these lines S1P, S2P and OP will subtend same angle with the horizontal. This is the one basic necessary condition. Then because of that, I can take this also theta, this also theta. So we have a triangle. Look at the triangle. Delta x. This is 2d, no? Shall I say this is a path difference between the waves? Compared to wave 2, this much of additional path the wave 1 will cover. This much of additional path the wave 1 will cover. So therefore now the delta x, so cos theta should be equal to delta x by 2d. Now I'm interested to search maxima. So for maxima, what shall I do? N lambda. So now the relation between lambda and this particular thing is needed. So let lambda equal to d, let me put it. Let the wavelength of waves be lambda. Let lambda equal to d. We'll put a condition. If lambda equal to d, then what do we get? Cos theta equal to n by 2. What are the possible values of n? N equal to 0, theta will be 90 degrees. N equal to 1, n equal to. So what are the possible values of n we can pick up? N equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to. If you put n equal to 0, what do we get? Cos theta. Theta should be equal to 0 degrees. Oh, sorry, n equal to 0, theta should be 90 degrees. N equal to 1, 1 by 2. So this will be 60 degrees theta. N equal to 2, theta will be 0. So where all we see the maximas, the angular positions is 0, 60, 90. So now if I draw a circle, position of maximas, do I get, will I get any maxima? Yes, theta equals 0. Yes, it is. Next maxima, theta equal to 0 degrees. Next maxima, theta equal to 60 degrees. Next maxima, it'll be here. Similarly, due to symmetry. So tell me, like, if I go around in circle, how many maximas I'm going to measure? If I go around in a circle, how many maximas I'm going to measure? Let me define all that condition are very much greater than 2d d and lambda equal to d, in fact, the distance between sources. Okay, how many maximas? Let's count 8 maximas. It all depends upon this lambda, the relationship between them. Lambda equal to 2d, you make it. Lambda equal to 3d, you make it. Or lambda equal to d by 4. Oh, sorry. So how many maximas now for lambda equal to d? 8 maximas are detected by detector. Let me take one more question. So I do have 3 coherent sources, S3, S2, S1. They're separated by distance, lambda by 3. And let me keep a detector far away where that the distance x will be very much greater than lambda. All source, they're coherent sources, S1, S2, S3 are coherent sources. They'll vibrate together, they're separated by this one. I want the intensity at point P. S1, S2 are coherent sources, and let I not be the intensity at point P individually due to each source. Find the resultant intensity at point P. The detector is far away from the source here. Find the resultant intensity at point P detected by detector. Okay, there's a very good question. Again, we are discussing interference of more than 2 sources. Is it okay? So we have three sources are there. What will happen to waves? So let me take the S2 as reference. So which wave will cover more path? The wave generated by third source. So now all the waves are generated. So these waves, what happen, will propagate. This will propagate some distance. This will propagate. This will propagate. Is there any path difference between the waves when they arrive at point P? Yes, compared to all, this will cover more path, no? Than this. If this covers a distance x, how much of more path the wave 2 will cover? Lambda by 3. How much of more path compared to 1 this will cover? 2 lambda by 3. So is there any path difference between the waves arriving here? Yes, there's a path difference due to that phase difference. So how to calculate the resultant intensity. We did maximum this for two or sources that one. More than two sources, if it comes, what to do? So what we do is like, let me take this as reference, this particular thing as reference. Compared to wave 2, how much of more path the wave 3 will cover? Phase difference of 3 with respect to 2. Should go to 2 pi by lambda. What is lambda? Wavelength of the waves. Let lambda be the waves emitted by the sources. Okay, this one. So this is what is the path difference between them? Shall I put lambda by 3? So 2 pi by 3 is what we are getting. Similarly, path difference of the wave 1 with respect to 2. 2 pi by lambda. Can you ask, sir, why minus 2 pi by 3? This will have more path compared to 2. This will have less path. So if I take this is 0 phase, this will lead, this will lag, no? Less path. Compared to wave 2, this will cover more distance. How much lambda by 3? Compared to wave 2, this will cover less distance. So this will be leading, this will be lagging, that one. Okay, now let me take this as a reference. So I'll go for phasor diagram. In the phasor diagram, what we have is, I think this was the method we have suggested, no? Superposition. So the first, so there's a blue color, no? So the amplitude of that E. Uh, what about the wave 3? It will lead by how much of phase angle? 2 pi. 2 pi by 3 should be 120. Is it okay? Then the wave one will lag how much? Minus 120 degrees. Minus 120 degrees, is it clear? So this should be how much? 120 degrees. So this is 1, this is amplitude. All will have same amplitude. All they are having intensity I naught to be same. So this is wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3, this is wave 1. Now what is the resultant amplitude at point P? Shall we write A plus A minus of A cos 60 plus A cos 60? Look at once. How much here? This will be 120, this 30, this will be 60, no? So this angle will be how much? 60 degrees. So why you are subtracting? Why you are subtracting? If this vector is along x-axis, how is this vector component of it along x-axis? A cos 60, A cos 60, I'm adding up. So this will become, so what is happening finally? AR is 0. Then resultant intensity at point P is 0. Means even if there are 3 loudspeakers are there, what happen? You are unable to hear anything. The reason for that, because the loudspeakers are coherent and they're separated. So I'll increase the volume of this. Still you are unable to hear anything. Okay, I think this is more dangerous, no? This will be more dangerous. Sir, I'll change the distance to lambda by 6. Okay, try it. Try this one, or we'll have a discussion now only. We'll wind up the thing. No? We'll take one more case so that you'll understand what actually we are discussing it. Huh? Instead of lambda by 3, let me make lambda by 6. And tell me where you are going to make changes. No. This will be lambda by 6. So this will become pi by 3. This will be minus lambda by 6. So this will become minus pi by 3. Is it okay? Fine. So then we'll draw the phasor diagram. And the phasor diagram, compared to the wave one is blue color. Pi by 3 means how much it is? Pi by 3. Pi by 3 means it is 60 degrees. Where is the wave? This will be, and the other one will be here. So this will be 60 degrees. Amplitude all are of same. This is 1, 3, and this is 2. What is the resultant amplitude? A plus 2a cos 60. Then how much it will become? A or 2a. What is the resultant intensity? Will be IR is equal to AR whole square. Will be 4a square. And we know I naught is equal to a square. This was the assumption. So how much intensity will be? 4 I naught. Okay, this is better, no? So I think if you have 3 loudspeakers and if they are positioned, if the separation between loudspeakers is how much lambda by 3, you're not going to hear anything. This is more dangerous. If they are separated by distance lambda by 6, yes, you are going to hear. If they're separated by distance lambda, tell me how much the intensity here will be. Anybody wants to answer? Resultant intensity at point P. Anybody? If the separation is lambda, if the separation is lambda, then phase angle how much will become 2 pi, 2 pi. Then a plus a plus a, 3a, squaring of that 9, 9 I naught, I'll get maximum intensity. So the loudspeakers, if they are become coherent, this is a big headache. So what shall I do? Shall make them incoherent? If I make incoherent, tell me what is the advantage? I need not to bother the distances here, no? What is the intensity at this point? I naught, 3 I naught. I'll be safer, no? If they're coherent, I should be very specific about the distances. If they're separated by distance lambda, then I'll get maximum 9 I naught. If they're separated by lambda 3, I'll get 0. That's why the loudspeakers must be incoherent only. We'll be on safer side. Okay, let me end up the class. Huh? I have to go to college. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll end up the class. Okay, thank you all of you. Yeah.